like we talked about it before, I guess, a little bit chat back and forth, but about how to get them started with, like, say, programming, like, say, stuff that you're not even doing at that moment. How to get the ball rolling with that.
Okay, I will touch on that. Okay, we have more people on. All right, so hey everybody, thanks for joining tonight's call. Couple reminders before we get started. July is the beginning of the second half of 2016. So let's make sure that we finish the year strong and start working and not slacking off now, because a lot of people, they get going and then around mid-year they forget their goals and what they got started for. So I just want to remind you that if you're struggling in any manner, reach out to any of the leaders of the team, and we're all here to help you. We have an amazing rank advancement group that's going right now, and there's a lot of great information. I'm seeing a lot of people I'm going to mute somebody. Sorry. I'm seeing a lot of people who are taking what they're learning and putting it to use. So if you're headed to Summit this year and you achieve Success Club in the month of June, make sure that you've updated the list in the Summit group page so that Becky and Christina know that you're going to be on the list for the luncheon. If you did not hit Success Club in June, make sure you do it this month in July, because if you're new to Diesel Nation, you haven't ever experienced one of their get-togethers, but as a way of saying thank you for everything that our team has done to build one great team, Becky and Christina will be hosting another luncheon like they did last year, and I think it's at Margaritaville. I can't remember this year. But if you've hit Success Club in June or July, you will be invited to this luncheon. However, because our team has grown so big, so fast, this year, only you can come if you hit Success Club. If your spouse did not, then they're not invited. So if you can, it depends on how you're working your business and your spouse really wants to be there, I suggest getting Success Club in both accounts. It's whatever way you want to do it. But this month we have some really amazing specials. I have Elle here. Everybody say hi to Elle. Hey. Brand new coach. We were just kind of going over everything about the 21-day fix and, helping her understand the meal plans and whatnot. So, this is a great starter program. It's a great price. You can get basically the 21-day fix program for $10. And that's the way I market it, is that you get basically workouts, the portion control containers, and the shaker cut for $10 extra with basically 30 meals if you choose to use Shakeology as a meal replacement. Just remember that the way you word it oftentimes, can really be what makes or breaks somebody committing to it. Because when you say, oh, it's $140, people all of a sudden think, oh my God, $140 is a lot. But when they see the value, then it makes it easier. And I always share with people that just a shaker cup alone, if you went to GNC or the grocery store, is $8 or $10. So you're saving a lot. So make sure that you are, using your transformation pictures of, if you've done 21-day fix, or somebody on your team or one of your challengers, promote this, because it has been very life-changing for myself and so many others. And if you didn't notice, the 22-minute hardcore is on sale again. You get the PT sandbag and the portion control containers as well. So that is a huge bargain. And this month, if you hit Success Club, you get one of the Shakeology canisters and 3 things of Shakeology. So obviously, if you're a coach, you're on Shakeology, but you could use those to do as giveaways for your challengers. So with that being said, we're going to move right into the challenge groups. This is something that's going to be pretty informal. So if you have any questions, just unmute yourself and ask or whatever. And if anybody has something to chime in, please do. I've had a lot of comments and questions and things from other coaches about challenge groups. And I do remember how confusing it was when I became a coach. So I wanted to kind of clarify some things, because this is something that is super important to your reputation as a coach, your growth in business. Challenge groups are where people start to see what goes on behind the scenes, because really when people are watching us, they see us tag one another, they see the amazing transformations that we have. They see us at events and whatnot, but they don't really understand why we're here and what it's about. And so being part of a challenge group gets you acquainted with other people that not only have maybe similar goals as you, but they're on the same journey. And so many people really have struggled with weight loss or, fitness or nutrition on their own. And so now having a peer, support group and somebody to keep them accountable other than their coach or a family member or somebody gives them, what it's always been missing. And when you have a challenge group, then you have these people who start together. And I will never forget whenever I bought my challenge pack, Becky, my coach, asked me, well, can I put you in my group? And immediately I was like, whoa, what is this group? Like, I didn't even know what she was talking about, but I was like, what do I have to do? And I got on the defense because I didn't understand. So you're probably going to get this from time to time because people don't understand. And make sure that you take the time to help them understand what it is. And she basically said, it's just a group, a private group on Facebook. Nobody can see anything other than the people that are in the group. And it's just a way for you to check in and get to know other people who are also doing P90X. And I was like, sure. But in my mind, I was thinking, I'm not going to post anything. Like, I didn't even tell my husband I bought P90X. But then whenever I got in there, I'm going to tell you, it's really what was a game changer for me, because I was basically a single mom because Ryan works 6-7 days at the time out of town. I was with 3 little kids, and so have adult conversation was amazing, and having people there to support me. And like I said, I never told Ryan that I bought P90X. I didn't think that I would finish it. I thought I was going to fail, and I didn't want anybody to know it. So I had all these group of strangers that didn't know my husband, and they were my support system. And what was cool is that there were people who started right when I did. And there was also people that were a week ahead of me or on their second round. So it was this whole little community of people that knew exactly what it was like to be on day 1 of P90X and day 2 and week 1 and week 2. And so they helped me through this. They provided motivation, and every time that I was excited that I could do something from one week to the next, I posted in there. Honestly, I didn't necessarily wasn't looking for any recognition from them or any response. It was just somebody that I could tell. And I think that all of you can relate that if you're excited about something, it's super awesome to have somebody to tell. And that's what basically challenge groups are. And from the coach's aspect, being the person that's overseeing a challenge group is your ability to see the people there who are working out, the people there who are like me, who are posting every day, and, be able to identify who is coach material. Because, I have groups where there are people in there that don't ever say anything. I know that they see the post. They have told me in private they see the post, and they're working out. They're drinking their Shakeology. They may have lost a couple pounds. They may have completed a couple rounds of 21-day fix or something, but they don't say anything. This is where you can identify who is ready to be a coach. And I know that if you're in the rank advancement group that we are doing now, we're on month 2, we talk a lot about recruiting. And that's where I want to explain to you guys that when you see people in the group, as much as you want to maybe advance to Emerald or Diamond or Star Diamond, yes, you need coaches to fill those places. But I learned the hard way that you don't want to just hassle anybody who's bought a challenge pack from you and anybody that is in your group, because they may not be ready, and that may be a lot of pressure for them, and they may be completely turned off to Beachbody and to you if you do that. So having the challenge group is a way for you to stay in contact with people from all across the nation, possibly. It gives you a way to really see who is ready to become a coach, who's ready to share with the world what they're doing. And you can see also what motivates them. I was talking to Elle earlier before we got on the call about how I have all my new coaches take the color code test. That gives me an indication of how each person's motivated. If you haven't taken it, take the color code test. It's at colorcode.com, because there's so many people that are motivated by fun, by competition, by recognition, different things. And so in your challenge group, you can't just have a one size fits all, but you can find ways to draw people out. And if you aren't running challenge groups, you're not going to know what people are doing. And I was telling Elle earlier too, that when I got started, I was just ready to get started. I was sick and tired of being fat. I was sick and tired of only having 2 outfits that I could fit in. I was sick and tired of hating my body. I was sick and tired of always like just my body hurt. I wanted to fall asleep after lunch. And so whenever I ordered P90X, yes, the challenge group played a big part in it. And my coach, Becky, was amazing. But I was just ready to get started. And I made the mistake over the years that I just assumed everybody else was going to just get started like me. But I realized that 98% of the world needs somebody to give them some guidance. So this is where you have the challenge group. And I do little assignments and I educate people in them. And it's not always been that way. But this is what I am hoping that you guys will start introducing to your new challengers so that you can have success and don't have to learn it the hard way like I did. So challenge groups are really, like I said, just a way for you to connect with people and for people to connect with other people. This is where they're going to understand the importance of having accountability, the importance of having support, the importance of having a coach, and also what goes on behind the scenes. Because if you work closely with these people that have trusted you and they've ordered their challenge pack and they want to get started because you inspired them in some fashion or form, then these people are going to get to know each other. They're going to be virtually high-fiving each other or encouraging one another when things are going wrong because they're growing close together. And then they may join your team at the same time. And these people may be the people that team up together and really start working together. And so this is where you want to create that culture of unity and oneness and like what I call Team Relentless and Beachbody, our fit family, that we really operate more like a family than just a business thing or just or a fitness group. So I wanted to share with you a little bit about the Challenge Tracker app. If you're like me, I don't like change. And so I've been running all my groups off of Facebook for a really long time. And so whenever they told all elite coaches last year that they had this Challenge Tracker app, I tried it and I'm like, and it all comes down to being a creature of habit. But I will say that I really enjoy using the Challenge Tracker app now that I've made friends with it. And I highly suggest that you do this, because of the fact that, again, it will also help you really identify who your coach material people are. Because I have a lot of people that won't join the challenge group, the Challenge Tracker app. And so I have to work one-on-one with them. And I realized that those are the people that I'm going to hit up with the coach opportunity, because if they're not ready to join the group, if they're not able to follow instructions of how to get into the group, then they're not really ready for the business. And those aren't people that I want to work with on a business level. I will work with them on a fitness and personal level. So if you're not using the Challenge Tracker app, I want you to commit to running one challenge group in July using this group. And if you're completely resistant to it, at least have a Facebook group open for the people you're working with. I'm going to share with you how to get the Challenge Tracker app, just so that people understand. When you are in your, just a second. When you are in, can you see that? In your Coach Online office, and you scroll all the way to the bottom, you have the FAQ. And so this is where you can, I preach about this all the time. If you have any question, you ask here and you can find your answer. But right here at the top, because it's the most popular, is the My Challenge Tracker app. Right here, if you click on that, it's going to give you the directions of what it is and how to set it up. So anybody out there who says they don't know how to use it or get it, this is where you find it. I'm not going to go over a lot. I just want to share with you how to find it so you know that the answer is there. And then if you go back, underneath it is the My Challenge Tracker Coach portal. This is they'll give you directions too. This is the coach's side of it. So I'm going to show you this side of it, My Challenge Tracker. Okay, so right here, crap. Sorry. Can y'all see that? I guess you can. So this is, anybody, I thought somebody said something, sorry. This is what it looks like from the coach's side. You can basically set up a new group by hitting new group. And what you can do is you can name it whatever funny, cute name or plain name, whatever it is that you want. and then you put the number of the days of your challenge group. I'm going to give you a tip though, if you haven't ran a group on here. If you're doing a 21-day fixed group, make sure that you put it in for 30. That way you have days that get started before and afterwards, because if not, your people can't post in there until it actually starts. And so that can be frustrating. So once you have all this done, you can basically set a start date, put in your number of days, and then the challenge program. And so Adam asked, like, what do you do on a challenge group for a challenge group if you have people who are using a program that you're not using? Well, I will show you. You can basically set up a challenge group for multi-programs. So that means that every person that logs in from their app on their phone, they can choose whatever program that they're using. Because honestly, I'll be completely honest, after 4.5 years, there's only been when a program launches that I've ever had tons of people doing one program. Usually it's very random and some people are doing this and some people are doing that. So I usually would normally run a multi-program one anyways. So once you do that, you can basically put a group description in, and then I'm going to go to the group so that way you can see what, here's this one that I set up, a mock one. So basically this is what it would look like once you get your group set up. You have your invitations, and then that's where basically you can put in people's name and add them to the list. Once they're added to the list, you have to hit invite participants. So what you have to do is make sure that you customize the email and write whatever it is, because that is basically what's going to go to your participants. It's going to tell them exactly what it is, how to download the Challenge Tracker app, so that way they know how to do it. Then they basically sign in from the app with their user or their email and their password that they would use if they signed into teambeachbody.com. And then attached to their email is an invite code, which helps them join that group. So these things are really basic. This is what they get. So I have learned that if people can't follow those instructions, then probably they're not going to follow instructions about coaching. So those are the people you just want to work with and help them get their transformation. And as they become more really committed in the business, then you give that opportunity to them. There's the file section. So basically you can add in, meal plans or whatever it is. And then the great thing about it is in the group feed, like whenever you run Facebook groups, or you always had to pin the post. If you're in the Rank Advancement group right now, you know that you have to check the pin post. That gets confusing if people are looking at it from a phone versus a computer. But here, basically, what you can do is you make a post from this portal. And the great thing about that, too, is you don't have to post it right now. You can schedule your post so you don't have to have a third-party thing like Postron or Hootsuite to schedule your post. It's all there. But your latest post as a coach is the first thing that shows up in the group. So they can't miss anything. And that was the most frustrating thing about Facebook groups is you post something, and if you pinned it, people from their phone couldn't see it or they wouldn't check it. And then somebody comment on your latest post, and then they comment on a post from a week ago, and then everything would get lost in the mix. So this is a great way that they get your post and your communication to them gets first precedence. So I hope you understood that part. So if you're running a challenge group with another coach, and this is something that if you're a brand new coach and you've never ran a challenge group, then you can run it with another fellow coach or your coach. I know that I think Valerie Rippey and her coach Patricia were running one together, and I think Robin and Sam works. I don't know, but I know that people have ran them together. So again, you're not out there on your own. Reach out to your upline, reach out to your success partner or somebody to help you there. So the next part is people always say, I don't know what to do to run a challenge group. I've been doing this for 4.5 years, so I don't use these guides because I know what I want to post and I know what I want to share. But if you're a new coach and you really are nervous about what to post and what to say, and you don't have the material and you can't think of it, the most awesome thing is when you're in the coach portal, you can click on Challenge Group Guide. And this is something that is available to you I see Kristen shaking her head, so she knows it's there. It is available in your Coach Online office. A lot of people don't realize that. But this right here gives you everything you need to know. So we picked the multi-program guide. So you have the Coach Starter Guide for that. if you're using a program in particular, there is also a participant starter guide. You can download that to your computer and then upload it to the file section of the challenge group. And so for the multi-program guide, we'll just open that one just for all intents and purposes. So basically, this tells you exactly what to do. Like literally, coaches, you have everything shown to you step by step. You just have to tap into the resources. So this is how to use this guide. It says, take these steps before the group starts. Create a challenge group through the coach portal, and invite your participants to download the challenge tracker app. Post week 0 topics on your group's wall. So this is here, week 0. So this is why I was saying that if you're going to do a 21-day group, then actually set it for like 30, so that way you can get them started a week before it starts off. It tells you right here, welcome to our challenge group throughout these next, and then you pick the dates, and you can definitely customize this to fit you. You can change the wording, but this gives you just a base of what to do. They even give you a picture that you can save to your computer and use for the post. But it has all these things about getting started, about letting people know about Beachbody on demand if they don't know, helping them make the changes while they wait for their challenge pack, about really getting in the mindset of eating healthy and getting rid of all the crappy foods while they wait so they're not tempted. Things about getting started with your nutrition, something about Shakeology, introduction about Beachbody Performance, because we all know if you start 21-day fixed or 21-day fixed extreme, those first 5 or 6 days without Beachbody Performance, you can't walk. So this is a way to introduce the products. I always make sure that I tell people in the challenge group that, just an FYI, there are going to be information about sales, so please understand that. That way they know that going forward. There's things about setting goals, so that, this was something I was telling Elle earlier, is that I really focus with people that I always just thought, like, get started. If they've been watching you as a coach, they know that they need to work out. They know that they need to eat clean. They know they need to eat with these little containers. They know they need to drink Shakeology every day. And they try to do everything that they've been watching you do for a year, 2 years, or however long. And then they try to get it done in the first 21 days. And if they don't get it done, they feel like a failure. So I've been really working with people and, not being a Debbie Downer, but saying, like, this is going to be hard. It's going to be this or that, and setting them up so that when these hard parts of this journey start happening, which happened to all of us, that they already are prepared for it, and that they already know that they can come to me and discuss it. Because most of the time, if people are struggling, they're not going to tell you, because they're going to be ashamed. They're going to be embarrassed. They're going to think that they're the only person. So I try to really combat all of this in the beginning. And I really set up with my new challengers. I've been doing this year. Is that I tell them, I just want you to make sure that you drink Shakeology for 30 days straight. That is your only goal. I'm like, most people are like, oh, I totally got this. And then once they've got that mastered, they start to lose a little bit of weight. They start to make better food choices. Then next thing you know, they get curious about the workouts. And I've been sharing with people too that, more research that I've done, that 66 days is what it really takes to build a habit. So the first 21 days is just practice. So I really set people up with practical, realistic, and attainable goals. And so this is something that is brought up in here. So this is where you're going to want to communicate with people what to expect, and that you are there to help them, and that, there's a lot of things that need to be achieved to get to their goal, but it's not going to be done all overnight. This is another thing on day, the pre-week, was reminding them to take their before and after pictures, because so many people don't, because they don't think there's going to be an after picture. So if that's something that you want to, indoctrinate into your challenge group, personalize it by saying that, hey, there's a lot of people out there who don't, take their pictures because they're ashamed. Use that as your motivation instead of something to be embarrassed of. There's a lot of people who don't think there'll be an after photo. And then that's when you share with them that I believe in you, and I'm going to be here every step of the way to guide you so that you do get that after picture. So this is, like I said, these are just stock, things to post if you don't know what to say. But as you become more familiar with running challenge groups and more confident in your coaching role, definitely personalize this. And so then here it goes on to week 1. They have, little things to say. So basically what I do is I post my post for the challenge groups where it's at 6:00 a.m. every morning. So I schedule them, because if you know me, you know that I do not wake up at 6:00 a.m. But, I have East Coast people who, a lot of people check into these things whenever they're getting ready for work. So you definitely want to be, number one, consistent, because if one day you post, I used to do this. One day I post at 7 o'clock if I got up, and the next day I would, sleep late and not post till 11. There's no consistency there. And so you want to be consistent, because also the whole point of challenge groups is, like I said, these are where not only are you identifying who are going to be your future coaches, but you're teaching them how to run challenge groups. Because if you're not running challenge groups, if you're not doing certain things with coaches and then you sign coaches, they're not going to know what to do either. So this is where you really set the tone and pace, so that whenever, people run in your challenge group, then they're ready to go. They know exactly what to do. They may need a little pointer of how to get started, but they already know what needs to be done because they went through your challenge group. They watched what you did. And what else was I going to say? I had one last thing. I don't know. Does anybody have any questions or comments or things that they use in their challenge group or their coaches use in their challenge group that's helped? Nothing? Good grief. Was I that good, guys? I can't be. Kristen, what were you saying? I didn't read the chat. Oh, I see what Melissa said. Melissa said that's how she knew Kristen would be a great coach. She was super active in her group. Yep. So I don't really have anything else to say other than the fact that challenge groups are super important, and working closely with your challengers and helping them get started is really crucial. And these are things that I've learned over the last 4.5 years of being a coach, but I have a document, and I'd be more than happy to share it with you so you guys can use it and copy and paste it and put it in a document. But I have a document that shares with people how to prepare Shakeology, because you would be so surprised at how people prepare it in the most random, awful ways. I set them up with even down to what kind of almond milk to get, because the silk almond milk is horrible, and it makes chocolate Shakeology taste horrible. It does, and all the people who don't like it have used that silk kind. So there's things where you're basically setting people up for success. I make sure that I also have a video that I did a couple years ago about how to do Shakeology. I even have my camera set up in the blender and I make it there. It was like a cooking show, but it was 15 minutes, so people don't always watch it. So, but I post both in the group. And I also have, what I've done is a video. And again, for some of you new coaches, I know that's something you may not be comfortable with, but as soon as somebody orders a challenge pack, I create a video where I'm thanking people for trusting me, thanking them for taking a chance on me, and telling them that I appreciate their trust and that I believe that they can do it. And, I don't remember everything I said because I just said it off the top of my head. But I also went in that video and explained to them too, what I was just saying about setting the goals for, just 30 days. So then that means having this video, as many of you may not feel comfortable doing a video. What's great is I send this to everybody that purchases a challenge pack, and it explains everything to them about why challenge groups are important, how to be prepared with your Shakeology before it comes, how to set attainable goals, blah, blah, blah. And so I don't have to say that every time to every challenger. I don't have to type it out every time. I don't have to copy and paste the message. I just send them a video. And then I tell them, when you're done watching that video, let me know. And then I can send them the information on how to prepare Shakeology for them to save. And then I can send them, how to log into their Beachbody on demand so that they could get started or check it out while they're waiting, or if they prefer that versus DVDs in the future. So the thing is, make sure that what you're doing is you're setting your people up for success and not expecting them to figure it out on their own. And this is all just a learning curve, because trust me, I've sold many challenge packs and had lots of people who I didn't do this with. This has been, basically what I've been doing in 2016 that I've seen has worked. And I really have not been signing coaches first right off the bat. I've been making them at least stay in my challenge group a month, 1 month to 2 months, because really a lot of times the people are not acquainted to our programs and our products, then it creates so much pressure for them to be a coach and make the lifestyle change that usually I've seen it in my examples with people I've worked with and other people on the team that I've talked to, is that it creates so much pressure and people just get overwhelmed and quit. And that's the last thing we want. We want them to stay in this. So really having them being part of a challenge group and really working personally one-on-one with them and helping them believe that they can do it, having that open door there where we know what they're struggling with so that we can help them, then that will help them stay on board so that they're still with us a year from now, 2 years from now, and that they understand that we're trying to help them create a lifestyle and be part of our family instead of purchasing a product and then never hearing from them until they need something again. So that's all I have to say. Again, last call for anybody who has any questions, comments, concerns. Nothing?
Hey, Mandy.
Okay. Yes, Adam. You there?
No, that was Mandy. This is Brandon.
Oh, hey, Brandon. Sorry, I thought you were Adam.
No worries. As far as the tracker app goes, I did run one challenge group with it, and all the challengers actually didn't like it.
Really?
Yeah, they said, and they weren't checking. Like 1 or 2 people were the only ones checking in, and they just said it was more kind of a nuisance to have to go to another app, or they forget about it and whatnot. How would you go about trying to get them more excited about it? I only had one person that liked it.
Well, I'll say this, that you have to find what works with you, but I would always, my point of having this call was to tell people to at least try it, because a lot of people won't do things. So kudos to you for giving it a chance, because for me, it took me months to come around to it. And I realized that, the most successful people in the business, they do what, they openly accept what's given to us. In your case, if that's not what works with them, then obviously it's not what works. So you have to find that if a Facebook works for them, or a Facebook group, or some way so that they can not only stay connected to you, but get acquainted with how the Team Beachbody works. That's great. And as far as having that one person that liked that, well then, that's the person that I think is somebody who, number one, follows instructions, is willing to try something. I do agree that it's not necessarily, it is kind of a pain in the ass to go to another app when you already have a million apps that you check a day. But it was somebody that did like it. And so you work with that person, because that person will already from day one understand the fundamentals of how coaches work. You don't have to retrain them. Literally, I'm having to retrain my brain from what I had done for the last 4.5 years. And I've had a group where most of Marto and I did this. We did a P90 group whenever it came out in September of 2014. And I broke my toe. I think Melissa got sick. Somebody else hurt their something. I mean, we had a group 20 people, and literally it was down to one person, Tina Anderson. And I'll tell you, I almost didn't want to post, because I'm like, Jesus Christ, 20 some odd people, wasn't into this program, or something happened, and I'm like, why post? But you know what? I faithfully posted every day for that one person. And she was the one person that finished P90. She lost 30 pounds, was contacted to be in the one of the infomercials. It made her, get excited about, I guess, coaching, because she went to Super Saturday, met Carl, met Autumn. So, my point was, if you just have one person, I'm sorry that sucks, but that person is probably the one that you really want to work with, and just keep working with them. But, as far as guys go, I've noticed that the guys don't ever join the app. And that was what was silly to me, is because David Ingram, he said at Super Saturday that, all guys love apps. Well, every guy that I've talked to about, they don't want to do that. So you just have to work with whatever you have.
When I was at men's training in Dallas, probably 60% of the top guys don't run challenge groups. They all lead with a business opportunity.
I guess I think Adam is still on the call, or maybe he's not. He's had an issue with that. So do you have any tips for him, that you learned that they conveyed at the men's leadership? Because I know that Greg Plass, him and I are friends, and he was like, I don't run challenge groups. He was like, I lead with the business. But, Adam, really, his story is more about a transformation, a health transformation. So did they share anything there that might be helpful to Adam about how to not run challenge groups, but help get people to get their transformation?
I have to go back through my notes and look. They did what they called a playbook, which I haven't even looked at yet, that just came out on all the information basically that was talked about. And so I need to download that and go through it and see.
Oh, if you would download that and send that to me, I would love it.
Yeah.
Or is that, or can you only have it if you're a man?
I don't think it really matters. I don't think it really matters.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'd love to see that. Does anybody have anything else? Nothing. Well, all of you who are in the rank advancement group, you guys are rocking it. We just have a couple weeks left. Keep on pushing. If you have any questions, let me know. Oh, yeah, and next week, Tuesday night, the call is with Patrick Reelman, so I know a lot of the guys will like that. So stay tuned. See ya.